in your eyes.
And I can stay unmuted now. There's Jennifer. Well, it says muted by the host. But
I'm thinking of your lips, the way you made love. I don't even know what I'm doing. You should hear what they're saying, that I'm such a fool for you. I'll put on my shoes, walk away from you. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'll put on my shoes, walk away from you. I don't even know what I'm doing. Broken down, beat don't red, I just keep moving till I get there. Never been important and I never will be. Soon enough, buddy, you'll forget about me. These old tires are worn so damn patched so many times, there's nothing left to match. This old engine running away. Look for how much longer I really can tell. I got a leak in the oil, use too much gas. I'm always in the slow lane and never pass. Cracks in the windshield make it hard to see, but you get used to it. You get used to it. This radio doesn't work. You shift the gears, the whole thing jerks. Cops roll down and they just shake their head. So I know nothing about the streets of lead. I lived in the oil, used too much gas. I'm always in the slow lane, I never pass. Cracks in the windshield make it hard to see, but you get used to it. You get used to it. There's no heat on a cold winter night, no way. Doing distant when the sun's too bright. Better wear a warm coat or nothing at all. This old heat has seen it all. I'm a broken down, heat don't red. I can't keep moving, but I get there yet. Never been important and I never will be. Soon enough, buddy, you'll forget about me. You'll forget about me.
Okay, here we are. Oh my goodness. We are so very excited to welcome you to the 12th annual RIMFI Fall ShinDIG. My name is Jennifer Peterson. I'm the executive director of the Rocky Mountain Field Institute. And on behalf of everyone at RIMFI, I am delighted to welcome you this evening and want to extend our sincerest thanks for joining us for this special annual celebration. What a difference a year makes. 1 year ago today, oh man, we were in the midst of our first snowfall of the year, and it's tradition that every year of the ShinDIG, it snows, we get our first snowfall. So we were nervous whether anyone would show up to our ShinDIG at all. And in the end, we ended up welcoming a record crowd into the beautiful Garden of the Gods Visitor and Nature Center to enjoy an evening of celebration with food and drink, partnership awards, and live music by the Midgards. Fast forward to today, things are just a tad different. The highs reached 75 degrees today. We had a wildfire scare in town. Our first big snowfall happened over 2 months ago. We are definitely not gathered in the beautiful Garden of the Gods Visitor and Nature Center. And in fact, we are in the midst of a worldwide pandemic, in case you haven't heard. I'm not sure what else could be going on right now. All joking aside though, it has been a year. It's been a heck of a year, but we're here tonight because we truly could not have pulled off what we did without each and every one of you. So with that, we want to do a quick little poll with all of you. We are curious how many RIMFI Fall ShinDIGs you've attended over the past 12 years. So up on the screen, you should be seeing a poll. Please go ahead and vote. Here we go, votes are coming in. Should only take just a few seconds. Oh, okay. I was curious if we would have anyone in attendance that's attended all 12, and we do. We have one. Whoever you are, kudos, we appreciate you. I'm actually not sure who can see these results. So what we have is almost a dead heat with people who have, this is the first ShinDIG, so welcome. Please know this is not how ShinDIGs go, and we just hope we can be celebrating in person next year. About 30% in each of these, 30% they've attended 2 to 3, 30% 4 to 6, a little bit in the 7 to 9 category, and then the one holdout that's done all 12. Awesome, great. Well, again, I think I can share those results. Thank you again from the bottom of our hearts for joining us here this evening. We have as lovely of an evening possible planned for you given the circumstances. So here on the screen is a rundown of how we intend this evening to go, with a caveat. Okay, so we have spent hours, I'm honest here, hours developing and testing this event. Can't guarantee we won't have any technical difficulties. Let's hope we don't. If we do, for whatever reason, just hang in there with us should anything go wrong, okay? Elise, next slide. So first, I want to take just a few seconds to acknowledge RIMFI's board of directors who work tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure that RIMFI is the absolute best organization that it can possibly be. Here's a list of our current board members. We have 8 right now, and all of whom are in attendance with us this evening. So we so appreciate all that our board does behind the scenes to keep making sure that RIMFI moves forward in the right direction. So as I mentioned earlier, and Elise, you can go to the next slide, it's been a heck of a year, truly. So in mid-March, we were slated to bring on 22 folks to join our seasonal staff and to add to our full-time staff of 6. Right around that exact same time, the pandemic hit and turned not just the RIMFI world, but literally the entire world upside down. We immediately jumped into action to figure out how we could keep our season alive and employ these amazing people we had promised jobs to. So right away, our staff rallied together to develop COVID-19 protocols and procedures designed to keep our staff safe. And you know, we always joke in the nonprofit world that we all wear many hats. Well, the hat of an infectious disease specialist is a hat we never thought we'd have to wear. And sadly, really to this day, we still have that hat on our heads. And when I look back on the year, it was really this exact moment in time that was really critical for our organization, because with the development of these COVID-19 protocols and procedures, and in very close coordination with the Colorado Springs Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Services Department, the land manager we were working with at the time to begin our early season field work. And shout out to some Parks and Recs folks. I know we've got several on the Zoom meeting this evening. They were able to deem RMFE and our services essential, which paved the way for us to bring on the 22 seasonal staff and to deploy our crews into our public parks and open spaces at a time when they needed us most, and they continue to need us today. Soon after, our COVID-19 protocols document was being shared with partner stewardship organizations literally across the state. And we began coordinating with other land management partners across the state, like El Paso County, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, Bureau of Land Management, and the U.S. Forest Service, as we expanded our field work across multiple agency boundaries and really began thinking critically of how we could integrate community volunteer stewardship opportunities into our field season. And so what I really want to emphasize here are our partnerships. Our partners trusted RMFE enough and believed in RMFE enough. And because of that, we were able to complete our most successful field season to date amidst the most challenging times our organization has truly ever faced. But despite all of the immense challenges that RMFE faced, and I know each of you have faced over the past 8 or 9 months, our theme for the year truly remains grateful. Grateful that we could continue operating, grateful that we could employ nearly 30 people, grateful that we completed highly impactful stewardship work on our public lands, grateful that we were able to engage the community in that important work. Certainly a smaller number of community volunteers than we're used to, but we did it nonetheless and kept everyone safe at the same time. But more than anything, grateful to all of you who helped make that important work possible. So we've put together a quick little video with some highlights of the year that we want to play for you. So please enjoy. Okay, next slide, Elise. Obviously, we completed an historic field season this year. So here is a slide with way too much text. I know that, but I just wanted to share some amazing stats with all of you to summarize truly what an impactful year it was. We had a record at the end of our field season ends tomorrow, in fact, and by that point, we will have completed 520 individual work days at 21 different public land sites in Southern Colorado. Many of you might be saying, how can you do that? There's only 365 days in a year, but it's because we had crews scattered across the region and were completing multiple work days on any given day in the height of the field season. So it was truly a record year. Contributed over 25,000 total on the ground work hours, constructed over 3 miles of brand new trail, and improved tread and cleared corridor on an additional 11 miles of trail, closed and restored over 5 miles of social trails, utilized almost 100 pounds of native seed and over 1,000 native transplants and restoration projects, Some really big highlights on the project completion front, 2 big ones this year, finishing the new trail network in the Pineries open space, which then opened to the public after years of waiting in June, at the end of June. And after 6 years of working on the project, we completed the new summit trail to the top of Kit Carson Peak and Challenger Point in the Sangre de Cristos. On the forest health and mitigation front, again, today we were reminded of that with the active fire burning here in Colorado Springs. Man, we've been doing a lot of forest health and mitigation work and removed over 11,000 trees in the Pike National Forest, constructed over 1,000 erosion control structures, and actively engaged 88 Youth Conservation Corps members over 20 weeks of work. It's a big year. These were just some of the highlights that we wanted to touch on. And so again, thank you so much to each of you for joining us this evening. Now I'm going to turn it over to Jamie Goins, RMFI Program Manager, who will be announcing our first partnership award of the evening.
All right, everybody, that was a technical difficulty. A new video is playing, so now we'll go over to Jamie. Hi, everyone. Hopefully you all can hear me. Yeah, like Jen and Elise said, my name is Jamie Goins, and I'm a program manager at RMFI. This is my first year in this position, but I've actually been with RMFI for about 4 years now with the field staff. So yeah, I'm announcing the Mark Hess Stewardship Partner of the Year Award, which started a couple years ago as a way to honor Mark Hess, our Rocky Mountain Field Institute founder, and all of his great accomplishments throughout the years. And this year we would like to honor this award to the National Forest Foundation for being a phenomenal partner this year. As Jen just said, we completed the Kit Carson project this year, and the National Forest Foundation had a huge part in that. There was so much behind the scene planning and getting this year off the ground this final year. And we were able to complete the trail, which is just so awesome that we were able to do this. And just huge thank you to them for helping us troubleshoot like day in and out, especially in February and then in March, like trying to get the on the ground work done and get the season underway. It was a lot more like over video and trying to figure things out, which is a little bit harder in some cases instead of getting on the ground, which is frustrating. But also just want to give a huge shout out to the National for our other 14er project Devils, which we also did a lot of troubleshooting with, and a lot of this was in the Find Your 14er campaign, which is a multi-year campaign geared towards the stewardship of getting trails underway for 14ers and pushing that program definitely. So just want to thank them so much for an amazing year and definitely many more years to come. So I would just like to pass it off to Emily Olson, who is here to accept the award. She is the Rocky Mountain Region Director of the National Forest Foundation. So I just want to send it off to you to just say a few words before we pass it off.
Thank you so much, Jamie. I hope everybody can see this. I have this amazing award from RMFI, and I feel like I should be giving them an award for working with NFF and finishing their projects this year. So it's absolutely gorgeous, and just wanted to thank Jennifer and Jamie and Team RMFI. I am really humbled that I get to accept this on behalf of NFF, and all of us absolutely love working with you hand in hand on amazing projects on our national forests. And thanks, Jamie, for mentioning, the Find Your 14er campaign has been the most notable lately, and kudos to everyone there for finishing Kit Carson this year, as you mentioned, for working with us on the Devil's Playground project. And at NFF, we can't wait to work with you to launch the Sangre de Cristo Stewardship Crew in 2021, as well as all the other amazing ideas I'm sure that will float up. And I just, while we were all together, wanted to mention, I see a lot of familiar faces on the Zoom call, and I think probably like me, everyone feels grateful to be connected to RMFI and to work with RMFI in Southern Colorado. But what everyone may not know is that you're also such a leader at the state level and the national level for stewardship work. So I'm thrilled to be your stewardship partner, not just in Colorado, but I know our organization looks to you and works with you often as a model organization for stewardship well beyond Colorado and for solving tough problems with creative solutions. So awesome to receive this award, and thank you to everyone at Rimpey for the work that you do. Woo!
Yeah, thank you so much, Emily. And yeah, definitely, you're so worth this award. And yeah, just like as we're getting Devils ready to go, it's going to be an exciting project, and we're really excited to put all our efforts in next year. Sure. Thank you so much. And yeah, I just want to send it off to the next award, and I think Jennifer Peterson is saying that one.
Yes, I am back, and I am honored to present our next award this evening, recognizing the Outstanding Funder of the Year. I have a little bit to say before we bring Lyda on the screen. Some history on this award. We've named this important award after one of our longtime volunteers and supporters, Mr. Robert Weggel. Robert actually lives in Massachusetts, but has been flying out to volunteer with Rimpey on some of our most difficult and most remote projects, like the Dixon Trail project in Cheyenne Mountain State Park and many of our 14er projects in the Sangre de Cristos. And in March of 2017, Robert helped Rimpey establish its very first endowment fund, which will provide a solid financial foundation from which to grow and ensure our long-term success well into the future. I am honored to present the Robert Weggel Outstanding Funder of the Year Award to Lyda Hill and Lyda Hill Philanthropies. So let me give a little bit of a background if I can. This is tough to do because it's really hard to put into words the impact that Lyda has not only had on Rimpey, but the entire Colorado Springs community and truly the world for that matter. Her accomplishments are far too many to detail, but suffice it to say, Lyda has been involved in many world-changing conservation, science, education, and medical efforts, both locally and abroad. Specific to Rimpey, Lyda has been a long-term supporter of our stewardship work in the Garden of the Gods, and her passion for the garden goes beyond Rimpey through her annual commitments to the Colorado Springs Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Services Department, and her vision decades ago to build the Garden of the Gods Visitor and Nature Center, and to create the Garden of the Gods Foundation to support maintenance and stewardship efforts in the Garden of the Gods Park. Last year, Lyda made a multi-year commitment to Rimpey, which allowed us to boost our stewardship capacity in the park by employing a dedicated trails crew to tackle projects above and beyond what we've been able to accomplish with volunteers alone. This could not have come at a better time, with COVID-19 significantly impacting our ability to engage community volunteers in our stewardship work. With that dedicated work crew, we were able to keep up with stewardship and maintenance needs in the park, which have been critical with the millions of visitors coming to Garden of the Gods this year alone. Lyda was also instrumental in supporting a park-wide trail assessment that Rimpey completed in 2018, which has strategically guided all of our stewardship efforts in the park since its completion. All right, and if I can tell just another quick story before we turn it over to Lyda. A few years ago, I met Lyda, and Lyda, hopefully you remember this. I met Lyda for a hike in the Garden of the Gods, and on this particular day, Rimpey just happened to have a group of school children out helping to restore a social trail in the park. When we met the group, Lyda was eager to talk to the children about the work they were doing and why that work was important, and even stepped in and grabbed a tool to help out. I think the students were in awe, clearly had no idea who Lyda even was and just how important of a person she was. But Lyda went along with it and just had a good time. And so to me, this just speaks to the kind of person Lyda is behind the scenes as well, passionate, generous, and yet so very humble. Please join me in congratulating Lyda Hill on this well-deserved award to recognize her as Rimpey's 2020 Robert Weggel Outstanding Funder of the Year. Lyda, the stage is yours, I guess, or the computer screen is yours if you'd like to say a few words.
I appreciate it. I am very grateful for the award, and I am thrilled to be able to support Rimpey over many years. And the award is beautiful. Let me get that. Let's see. I'm not on a full screen, so you can't really see it, but
we can see it. That's nice. Yep.
But that will be a wonderful memory of this. I just happened this week to be taking several different people on tours down in the garden on a trail that I hadn't been in. I mean, I can't believe that I missed a trail, but and as we were going along, I'd say, now there's this group called Rimfy, and they make these trails nice. And every time I was report on Rimfy making the trails nice, and I remember the occurrence that you referred to when I was helping the children, and there was one of the tools that I got looked like a rake, but it was designed for a different purpose. And so when I showed the picture to some of my friends in Texas, they said, "Lottie, you got it upside down." I said, "No, it's not that kind of rake. It's a different kind of rake." So I got in trouble. But who really I'm grateful for is all the people who are volunteers and who work with Rimfree, because you're the ones that get the award. You're the ones that make this happen. The rest of us kind of can sit on the side and cheer you, but I cheer all of you and thank you. Heaven knows the parks everywhere in the country have been needed more than ever this year and have been worked to death, but we don't have to worry about it. Rimfee will take care of it. Thank you.
Congratulations, Lyda. It's my honor to turn it over to my colleague, Alex Lotke, another Rimfee program manager, to award our next partnership award of the evening.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. Great to be chatting with all y'all this evening. I am very excited to be presenting these next few awards. So here we go. Drum roll. The 2020 Land Management Partner of the Year award goes to BLM Royal Gorge Field Office. These folks are just absolutely amazing and played such an instrumental role in making this season a success. This award in many ways is long overdue. Rimfee's been partnering with these folks ever since the early 1990s at our legacy site down there in Canyon City at Shelf Road. Arguably one of the best managed climbing areas in the country and definitely in Colorado. Really excited to be working with these folks again in recent years. As of 2019, we had revitalized our partnership through a multi-year agreement, 3-year agreement starting in 2019 there, through objectives at Guffey Gorge and Shelf Road, and looking at focusing at other high impact areas in the Gold Belt management area. So we were focusing on stewardship, leave no trace outreach, as well as obtaining user survey data at those public lands. This year, we made a lot of significant improvements to the gym area at Shelf Road, to the approach trail, as well as creating several belay platforms and durable surfaces for the climbing community. And we were able to host several Leave No Trace workshops during events such as the American Alpine Club's virtual Kragen Classic this year. Of course, also really great improvements there at Guffey Gorge on the approach trail leading down to a very popular swimming hole, which is becoming more and more exponentially popular each year. With these highlights, I am happy to present this award to BLM's outdoor recreation planner, Linda Skinner.
Hello, everybody. We are super excited to get this award, which is hanging on my wall at home for the moment. But my field manager says that we have a special place in our office to hang it. He was really thrilled and excited. Keith Berger is our field manager, and he was excited about this award. Caleb Leonard and Sean Reynolds, I want to recognize them. They are fellow recreation coworkers and have been working with Rimfee for a while each year to do these projects. And Guffey Gorge, we had no idea how much we were getting ready for. This year, the visitation more than doubled, and it just is amazing that we really needed some of that hard work of good steps and good foundation on that trail that Rimfee provided. And since we're telling stories, we happened to be in Beaver Creek. The rec team just said, let's go hike Beaver Creek and see what it looks like, because we hadn't been in there all year. And I was reminiscing about the days of Fountain Valley School coming out with Mark Hess. And this was back when I was a seasonal. And I was just always blown away. These kids would come in their flip-flops and shorts, and I would just look at them the first day and think, wow, you guys have a project. And then I'd go in and hike and see them in there working and diving in, and I was like, this is a miracle. But yeah, like everybody else said, it's such an honor to work with Rimfi, and the things that you do for public land just are amazing, and couldn't ask for more positive people, always finding ways to get it done. This year especially was such a challenge, but you guys did it. It's amazing. Thanks for all you do too. And for the award, we're thrilled.
Awesome. It's been such a pleasure working with y'all. Just the support, while we're out there on the trail, y'all coming out and working alongside us. It's just been an incredible partnership, and I feel really fortunate to be working with y'all at those places. Cool. Without further ado, we'll move on to our next award. Here we go. Another drum roll. So the next award is Volunteer Partner of the Year, which goes to Friends of North Cheyenne Canyon, aka FOC. These folks are absolutely amazing. They do so much for the North Cheyenne Canyon Park here, located in Colorado. So 2020 was the second year that we partnered with this Friends group to go ahead and host a advanced training series with the goal of bolstering the technical competencies of the Friends group's members, as well as making improvements to the park. Pretty cool too. This is a training that's offered to other crew leaders within the region to advance their skills as well. Despite the many difficulties this season surrounding volunteer programming during the pandemic, we were still able to host all 6 days of those trainings, just adjusting our plans and being flexible. So really grateful to be able to run those, able to get done with a great amount of work on Mid-Columbine Trail, Chamberlain Connector, Upper Mesa area during these trainings. Just got a bunch of work done, which is excellent. And I think everybody learned a lot. Additionally, thanks to the partnership with FOC, we were able to get multiple improvements done to the very well-loved Mount Cutler Trail here in the park. So, with these highlights in mind and all the other great things that this Friends group does for North Cheyenne Canyon, I'm happy to pass along the award recipient here, Isaiah Litzel, who is the board president.
I got the award here. This thing is lovely looking. I'm told this is a picture from the park, so I'm gonna have to go explore and see if I can find out specifically where that picture was taken. So I'm pretty excited about that. But huge thankful to you all in this year. It was a crazy year, but the amount of things that we were able to accomplish was just outstanding. Yeah, specifically the work we were able to finish at Mount Cutler will contribute to that trail's longevity for years to come, and it is a well-loved trail. So super excited about being able to get that done. Expanding the skill sets on the crew leaders and working with y'all to do that will no doubt have benefits for many trail systems in the Pikes Peak region, which I'm super thankful for. Special thanks to you, Alex, for hosting the first 2 training weekends. It was great working with you, and those walk and talks were a blast. And thanks for helping to procure all the projects and get everything worked out for everything else that we were able to do in the canyon this year. Thanks to Elise for marketing the event to the crew leaders and working with us and all the rescheduling. It was pretty nuts at the beginning of the year, but we were still able to secure those 6 work days, which was amazing. Thanks to Lindsay for hosting the last training weekend and all the other RMFE folks that worked on Cutler and every other area of the park. Huge thank you to Rob Lucy. I believe he was the only one that attended all 6 of the training events, so that's awesome. He's going to be ready next year to do all kinds of work in the park, I hope. And special thanks to Bristol Brewery. We wouldn't have been able to get the Mount Cutler project created and funded without the help of them and the donations that we get from them every year. Lastly, I just want to thank the FOCC board members who made this happen. all of them put a ton of work into preserving, protecting, and enhancing our Shannon Canyon Park every day. And I'm looking forward to working with y'all next year. It's been a blast.
Awesome. Definitely looking forward to future years. Definitely, man.
Cool.
Awesome. Great. Without further ado here, I will pass things along to Elise.
Hi there, everybody. I am presenting and doing the, the going through the slides, so bear with me just a little bit. So next, I want to present our 2020 Volunteer of the Year Award to Dean Waits. Dean is an amazing and kind and patient person and a joy to work with. His genuine interest in getting to know you is refreshing, and it makes the workday that much better. Since 2012, Dean has volunteered a total of 34 days at places like Devil's Playground Trail, Shelf Road Recreation Area, Red Rock Canyon Open Space, Black Forest, and more. He has donated his time, funds, and insights to help Renfrey fulfill our mission. And we just want to say thank you and congratulations. And if Dean would like to say a few words, we'd love for you to speak it.
Hello, Elise. I want
Hi.
to thank you, Jennifer, and all the people there at Renfrey for this award. Like everybody else, I'm pretty excited about this. This is quite an award, and it's amazing. I really enjoy working with you guys. It's always fun, and working with the volunteers. And I know a lot of the volunteers, and for me to get this award, I really feel special, and I want to thank you very much for this. And you know, I always enjoy the ShinDIGs. I haven't been around here for 12, but I think I've made 4, 5, or 6, something like that. And it's going to be so neat to come back, and when we can all gather, and all the rock stars can walk up, and we can accept our awards and do a little fellowship there. So I'm really looking forward to that. And again, thank you, and thank all the people from Renfrey.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dean. And now I'm going to move on to our 2020 Volunteer Crew Leader of the Year, and that is Carol Beckman. And I'm so honored to present this because, well, while we weren't able to have too many volunteers days this year with crew leaders, Carol was on both of those days that we were able to have her out at the Devil's Playground Trail. And besides that, she's also joined us as a crew leader at locations in Black Forest and more. In addition to volunteering with Renfrey, she works with a multitude of different environmental stewardship organizations around Colorado Springs and Colorado in general, as well as serves on the board for Colorado Springs Parks Advisory Board. And she's just so hardworking and knowledgeable, and it's wonderful that I was able to be out in the field and work with her, along with Dean too. I didn't mention that. I was in the field last year, and I was able to work with both of these awesome people. So really excited. And Carol's not going to be on video, but I have her award right here. It's still in the plastic wrap. Hopefully you can see that. And this award is sponsored by Mountain Chalet. So I'd love to present this fantastic bag that was provided by Mountain Chalet. We got some decals of Mountain Chalet and Renfrey. So we'll be giving those to Carol. So thank you so much, Carol. Oops, so sorry. Okay. Now before we present the rock stars, we want to give a little round of applause. Jennifer, if you do the honors. Awesome. Okay, next, I want to talk about all of our rock stars this year. And so this is a list of 31 volunteers that were able to come out for at least 2 days, and some people even more than 2 days this season, which I think is just incredible within itself for the year that we've had. So we're just incredibly thankful for everyone that was able to, continue their commitment to stewarding public lands and bringing enthusiasm and positivity to every workday. And we want to give another round of applause for our rock star volunteers as well. I'm not sure if that came through for everybody, but we got some we got some applause in the background. Okay, and now before we move on, we want to do another poll just to see who has volunteered with us before. So I will check this out. It will show up on your screen. So please answer the question, then we'll share the results. We have about 30 people, 35 people answering. We'll wait for just a few more seconds to get other people's votes in, and then we'll share the results.
End it.
Awesome. So it's great to see that we have 9 people here. It looked like there's some people new to the ShinDIG this year, as well as haven't volunteered with RIMFI yet. So we're excited to see in 2021. And thank you to everyone that's already volunteered with us and continues to volunteer. And now we are going to pass it on to Jennifer to speak a little bit to our most recent board transition.
Okay, and I know Mike is here. Mike, I'm not going to put you on the spot, so don't, if you're in your PJs, it's okay, you get a pass. I mentioned earlier the important role that our board members play in strategically guiding RIMFI forward, and at the end of 2020, our longest standing board member, Mike Smith, will be ending his term and rolling off the board. Mike has served with us for nearly 11 years and has provided a critical perspective from the eyes of a land manager, and has also been really instrumental in helping RIMFI implement its Earth Core Field Studies program. Mike was a career U.S. Forest Service employee, having begun as a trail crew foreman before moving into timber management for several decades. He was a wilderness manager when he first met RIMFI's founder, Mark Hess, and eventually ended his career as a forest planner working on long-range land and resource allocations for the Pike and San Isabel National Forests. His career highlight was serving for 13 years in wilderness management, and I'm sure he can add as a highlight the decade plus he served on RIMFI's board of directors. Mike, truly, we cannot thank you enough for all of your years of dedication and service to RIMFI. We will miss you and all of your sage wisdom and insight. Mike was also really incorporated some humor when he typed up our meeting minutes, and just a solid guy. And we appreciate you, Mike. Thank you so much for everything. We've got a little gift for you at the RIMFI office, and we will coordinate getting that to you. Thank you.
Awesome. And now we're going to move on to our nature photo contest. So this year, this is our 8th year as, putting on this photo contest. And we actually had over 169 submissions, which is phenomenal. And it's the most that we've ever had. And we're just so excited that we're able to celebrate all of these amazing photographers in the Colorado area. And so this past week, we had a panel of 3 professional photographers who, without seeing the photographers' names, selected 2 images from each category. And so we have 2 from restoration, 2 from mountains, 2 from flora, 2 from fauna, 2 from interaction, as well as 2 from our youth category. In addition, the RIMFI staff was able to choose their favorite as well. We are so excited to now show you our finalists who will be receiving a $25 gift card to Mike's camera. So first is our restoration. Our first finalist is Brian Lewis. Our second finalist is Stephen Parnell. And now we will go on to mountains. And actually the winner of the mountains category were photos both from Justin Peterson. And next is Flora. And our finalists are James Van Hoy and Wendy Gadak. Next is Fauna. And this was both of the photos were actually taken by Vaughn Larson. And next is Interaction. Our finalists were Amy Hodges and Renee Wall. And for our youth categories, our finalists were Axel Anderson and Elle Gray. And lastly, the staff Rimfy staff pick was another photo from Wendy Gadak. And so thank you so much for everyone and all their submissions. And we thank our judges that helped us choose all of these amazing photos. There were really too many to choose from. So I'm sure they had a tough time picking these winners because they're all were amazing. So next we'll kind of go on to the next steps of what our photo contest will entail. And so Mountain Chalet is another big sponsor of our photo contest. And the grand prize winner will be winning a pair of skis from Mountain Chalet. So if you want to help someone win some skis, we need you to vote on some of our photos. So you can go to rimfy.org/photo contest and you can vote from now, and we will pick a winner on December 16th after we tally all the votes from the public. In addition to voting for your favorite, you can also bid on one of your favorite photos. So if you're wanting to have one of these beautiful photos in your living room, at work, wherever you want to put it, we want you to, bid on these beautiful photos, and then that will actually help us to continue our stewardship within the community. So thank you so much to Mike's Camera and to Mountain Chalet for funding or for sponsoring this amazing contest. And we're just super excited to have this year and have the record number of submissions. And so now I'm going to pass it off to Carl, and he'll give you a little sneak peek of what the 2021 season's going to look like for us.
Thanks, Elise. Appreciate it. And thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. We really appreciate everything you all do to support us here at Rimfy. So as Jen mentioned earlier during the ShinDIG, that 2020 was a huge year for us, record-breaking year, the most work days we've ever ran, the largest staff we've ever had, and 2021 is shaping up to be another record-breaking year for us. We are super excited for our season next year. Right now, we're shaping up to be about 700 plus work days, which is a massive record for Rimfy, which will again require another record-breaking level of staff for us. So we're super excited about our season next year. Again, thank you to everyone who helps us do the work that we do. Some of the projects are really excited, some new projects for next year that we're really excited about. Starting with the Sangre de Cristo Stewardship Crew, we'll be focusing our efforts in the South Colony Lakes area. So this crew is kind of a lean, mean, agile, mobile trail maintenance crew dedicated to stewardship and trail maintenance work in the South, in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. So we're super excited to we have about 40 days planned for that work. Emily mentioned that, and so this is, again, with some great support from NFF and our Forest Service partners. We're also excited to start some new projects here right in our backyard. We'll be working with the City of Colorado Springs for right now 10 days of work at the Austin Bluffs open space, so we're super excited to work so close to home. Again, super close to home and super important for next year. We were fortunate enough to be selected for the Greater Outdoors Colorado Resilient Communities program. So this is kind of a response to the results of the COVID pandemic. So we saw, and I'm sure many of you have seen this yourselves, a massive increase in outdoor recreation and visitation to our local parks and open spaces. And so the Resilient Communities program is really aimed to address those really critical needs right here in our parks that we all love. So we're very fortunate and very thankful to be participating in that for the next 2 years. So we'll be working a lot for about 80 days next season in our local parks and open spaces. Another program we're really excited about, this is a new program as well. We'll be partnering with the Catamount Institute to provide some really awesome educational, outdoor educational and career development opportunities for local Colorado Springs high school students through the Building Outdoor Leaders Today program, or the BOLT program. This is a great program that we're getting off the ground this year. It's a great partnership. And really excited to engage a lot of the youth here in the community in bolstering that ethic of outdoor use and stewardship. And so that program will actually culminate in an 8-day spring break stewardship trip out to one of RIMFY's legacy sites out at Indian Creek out there in Utah. So we're really excited about all these new projects and programs. And again, these are just a few of the new programs we have set so far. There's certainly several other potential projects in the works right now. So stay tuned for updates there. And of course, we're going to return to our multi-year projects and programs that are really the backbone of what RIMFY does. Again, with the pandemic, we saw a huge increase of visitation at Bar Trail. And so we're really excited to be able to get back out there again next year to implement some really critical trail maintenance needs out there. We are also thrilled to heading back out to Devil's Playground with some super critical support from the National Forest Foundation. Thank you, Emily, and all you guys do over there. So really excited with that support and other key supporters as well. We're going to really bolster our efforts out at Devil's Playground next year. We're looking at 100+ days of work out on Devil's Playground. Really hoping to really engage volunteers at a bigger capacity next year, and really hit the ground so we can make it all the way to the top of America's mountains. So good work going up on Devil's Playground. We're also excited to announce that our Earth Core Field Studies program, which is our 18-day intensive work study program where students come and work stewardship and learn outdoor education. We're moving that to Devil's Playground next year, which is a big change for us. We've hosted it out at Kit Carson for the last few years, and we're really excited about the prospect of moving to Devil's Playground so we can engage a lot more local students and really engage more people from diverse backgrounds. So we're really excited about moving Earth Core out there. We're also really excited, and again, with some phenomenal support from a variety of key sponsors and supporters, but the iconic Garden of the Gods, known across Colorado and across the country. This park saw a lot of use this year, as it does many years, but I think we can all agree that park visitation has gone out of the roof this year. So we're really excited to be able to return to Garden of the Gods next year. And we're spending about 80 days of stewardship work out in the garden next year. So really excited about that. We're also going to be returning to a lot of your favorite local parks and open spaces that you'll see across Colorado Springs, North Cheyenne Canyon, Palmer Park, Red Rock. So we're really excited to get out and just do some really critical support and maintenance work in a lot of your favorite areas. We're also really excited and thrilled and happy to be returning to the Pike National Forest to do our watershed health and forest mitigation work. This is part of our WIP programming, our watershed health initiative improvement project. We're really excited about this. As we've seen this year, the increase in intensity and severity of wildfires just seems to keep getting worse and worse. So a time like this work is more important than ever. We are really excited to be able to head out and protect these communities that we love and these natural resources that we all need. So just really excited to be able to get out and do some good work out there. So this, again, is just a snapshot of some of the fantastic work we have planned for 2021. And again, thank you all so much for joining us. We couldn't do what we do without all of you. So thanks to all our supporters, donors, volunteers, supporters, likes on Facebook, all you folks, couldn't do it without you. So thank you very much. And I will turn it over to Jennifer.
All right, stick with us because the main event is almost here. We're saving just a really powerful video that I promise you, I think I'm confident in saying will change your life, to be perfectly honest. It's phenomenal. But Carl gave a run through of all the work that we have ahead of us. We have a lot of important work ahead, and we need your help to ensure that we can be successful. As the nonprofit steward of public land, we have always known how important our public lands are for physical, mental, and emotional well-being. And consequently, we have always been deeply passionate and committed to stewarding these special places now and for future generations. 24 million people and counting visit the Pikes Peak region annually, many of whom are drawn to our vast network of trails and ample access to world-class outdoor amenities. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, record levels of visitation were already being observed in a number of Colorado Springs parks and open spaces. And now 9 months into the pandemic, COVID-19 has only served to exacerbate the impacts on our already stressed parkland areas. During this time of heightened stress and anxiety, stay-at-home orders and social distancing, the respite provided by just a simple thing like a walk, run, or hike in the park has proven to be more important than ever. This public health crisis has brought to light just how critically important public lands and natural areas are for physical, mental, and emotional well-being. We are all living through that as we speak. People are flocking to our parks and open spaces in unprecedented numbers, with some places reporting as much as a 200% increase in use compared to this time last year. And in fact, there is so much use as a result of COVID that actually a new phrase has been coined called the public landemic, the public landemic. The increase in use has resulted in an increase in irresponsible behavior as well, sadly, including littering, cutting switchbacks, traveling off trail, and really just a general lack of knowledge in how to recreate responsibly in the outdoors. It's kind of a catch-22. We have a lot of first-time users outdoors, which is wonderful, but a lot of first-time users and tourists that are discovering the outdoors for the first time simply lack this ethic of environmental stewardship that can take years to develop. And these impacts are resulting in significant erosion, habitat fragmentation, loss of native plant and soil resources, user conflicts, and other impacts. So long story short, RMFI's on-the-ground stewardship work truly has never been more important. We are in the midst of our year-end Indie Give campaign, which is one of our most important fundraisers of the year. The campaign runs until December 31st, and we are actually one of 78 different local nonprofits participating in the campaign this year. We were fortunate enough, as you can see on this slide, to have been able to raise over $30,000 in matching donations ahead of the campaign from individuals, local businesses, and other supporters who believe deeply in the work that RMFI is doing. And now we need your help to help us unlock these dollars. Every single dollar that is donated to our Indie Give campaign until December 31st will be doubled up to that matching donation amount of $30,773. Giving is super easy. You can give and get rewards, indiegive.com/RMFI. So in addition to this evening, we have one more special event planned later this year as part of our campaign, and we hope you'll consider joining us for that on December 17th, where we'll be showing a short film called Within Weakness, created by adventurer and conservation storyteller Wesley Trimble. The film chronicles Wesley's path to summit all 54 Colorado 14ers, despite being diagnosed with cerebral palsy. It is an incredibly moving and inspiring film. After the film, we'll have a panel discussion with Wesley and a couple folks with us tonight, Emily with the National Forest Foundation, Loretta McElhiney with the U.S. Forest Service, about the importance of 14er stewardship, and then we'll close with a Q&A discussion among attendees. And Elise, next slide. I would be remiss if I didn't give a snapshot into another really big milestone Rimfi is achieving next year. We are turning 40. We're turning 40 in 2021. Oh my gosh, I hope a year from now, we are at the ShinDIG in the best party and celebration we have ever experienced. Be on the lookout for a lot of fun events and prizes. We have teamed up with the Design Rangers who are on the call tonight for the logos. Just here are a little tease of some fun events and milestones and engagements that we have planned for next year. So I want to close tonight's event with we've been building this film up, but dang, it's a good one. We want to close this event with a very special film that was created by Brian Lewis, owner and creative director at Soul Mountain Studios, a local full-service film and video production company based here in Colorado Springs. Earlier this year, when COVID hit, Brian reached out to Rimfi about how he could give back in a meaningful way and have a really good impact on our organization. And as a nonprofit, we are often challenged with how to convey our story and impact across multiple mediums and in a way that truly resonates with a broad spectrum of audiences. We have long wanted a video made that tells the Rimfi story, and we worked closely with Brian and finally made that happen. What he produced truly blew us away. I mean, literally blew us away. And we are so excited to share with you for the first time a new 3-minute film called For the Places That Keep Us Whole. At least don't start it yet. So we have tested this multiple times. And if for whatever reason this doesn't come through smoothly on your end, forgive us. As you saw in the chat, hopefully we will be following up with everyone tomorrow with some just links on how to vote and bid on the photo contest, but a link to this video that just in case it doesn't play smoothly on your end, you'll have a chance to watch it on your own. So without further ado, please enjoy For the Places That Keep Us Whole.
This is for the places that keep us whole. This is for the quiet spaces. For the sacred playgrounds. This is for the places that let us breathe. And then take our breath away. From the aspen groves, the granite domes, and ponderosa slopes, to the red rock wonderlands, the juniper bluffs, and prairie wildflowers. For these places, we're here. We're here to give what we can to the land that gives us everything. We're here when the land needs a little help, when it needs to be nurtured and cared for and spoken for. We're the builders and the heavy lifters. The planters and the sawyers. We're the shovelers, the rakers, and the tamperers. The dirt movers and the rock shapers. We're here to honor the stewards who came before and to lay a path for the next generation. We're here for these places. For our presence.
And I just put the link in the chat, you guys. This is a powerful video. I'm not entirely sure how it came through. Please, please take the time to watch it. We need your support more than ever. And with that, again, thank you so much from all of us at RIMFI for joining us this evening. Be safe. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. We appreciate each and every one of you. Have a good evening.
Susanna, with your pretty brown eyes and your Spanish tongue and your young ears so full of life, those precious moments that I spend time with you. They ask me, was it worth it? But what else could I do? I'm sorry for the harm that I've done. Your brother tried to run me off, threatened me with a gun. And in the struggle, I took it over. Now they say it was murder, and that I'll have to pay. From my cell, I can look up to the stars. I can hear the trumpets of death and the Spanish guitar. And tomorrow I'll be resting in peace.